Inspect and clean all of the disassembled parts and replace packing and O-rings as necessary. When you have finished cleaning, inspecting, and replacing parts, assemble the bowl. Clean the inspection parts of the pilot valves. Lubricate the insertion parts and O-rings of the pilot valves and insert them while lightly pressing on the pilot valves. Take care not to press with excessive force, as this may damage the pilot valve's O-rings. Tighten the valve nuts firmly. This is the procedure for mounting the main cylinder. Lubricate the O-rings and mount them on the main cylinder so that they cannot twist. Set the bowl head jack, push bolt and handle onto the valve cylinders. Fully lubricate the sliding parts on the bowl body and valve cylinder and set the patches. Gradually loosen the jack handle to align the zero mark on the main cylinder and the bowl body and notch position. Remove the bowl head jack and patch. Finally, turn the cylinder and confirm that mounting is complete. Mount the distributor to the disc. There are two types of discs. We will start with a large diameter disc. Parts may be mounted on the distributor in any order. Align the parts with the keys on the distributor and press firmly to mount them. After mounting the large diameter disc, mount the small diameter disc. The number of small diameter discs differs according to the model. Be careful to mount the small diameter disc so that the top disc does not touch the flanges of the disc. If a large diameter disc is mounted at the top so that the surface of the top disc touches the flange of a disc, the bowl may not tighten correctly and the disc may be damaged. Some looseness in the disc may occur over time from repeated use. If this occurs, add more discs. Screw the bowl lifting jack into the distributor and mount it on the bowl body. Align the notch pins on the distributor with the notch grooves on the bowl body. Remove the bowl lifting jack. As with the disc, align the top disc with the keys on the distributor. Check that the O-ring is installed on the top disc. check that the O-ring is mounted on the bowl head. Mount the bowl head. Align the grooves on the bowl head with the notches on the bowl body for mounting. The zero mark of each notch position is indicated above the notch. Screw the disc clamp plate into the distributor and tighten the nut with a wrench to compress the disc. Compressing the disc is an important procedure. Its purpose is to dampen the springing effect in the disc mounted on the bowl to protect the thread of the bowl nut and make it easier to tighten the bowl nut. Mount the bowl nut. Apply anti-lock lubricant to the thread of the bowl nut and of the bowl body. Use the bowl nut handle to mount the bowl nut on the bowl body. Check the positions of the zero marks on the bowl nut and bowl body. Tighten the bowl nut so that the zero marks on the bowl nut and bowl body are within 10 to 15 millimeters of each other. You should be able to align the zero marks within 10 to 15 millimeters simply by tightening the bowl nut firmly. With the zero marks within 10 to 15 millimeters of each other, fasten the bolts to the bowl nut handle and align the zero marks completely using a hammer. Tighten until the zero marks are completely aligned. Remove the bowl nut handle. This completes the assembly of the bowl. We will now explain the procedure for mounting the bowl on the self-jector. Before mounting the bowl on the self-jector, remove the disc clamp plate. Set the bowl lifting jack on top of the bowl head and lift. With the bowl lifted up, inspect the two drain nozzles mounted on the bottom of the bowl. The slits on the drain nozzles are 0.9 millimeters wide on the small and medium-sized models and 1.1 millimeter wide on the large models. Remove the drain nozzles and check for clogging. If the drain nozzles are clogged, clean them thoroughly with an air gun. After cleaning, mount the drain nozzles on the bowl. Place the bowl on the self-jector. Before mounting the bowl, apply lubricant to the O-rings of the water supply device. Set the self-jector bushing on the vertical shaft. Slowly lower the bowl to mount it firmly on the vertical shaft. Remove the bowl lifting jack. Be sure to mount the cap nut to fasten the bowl firmly to the vertical shaft. After you fasten the bowl, confirm that the O-rings are mounted on the inlet pipes and light liquid impeller on the top of the bowl head, and that the bowl is fastened firmly. At this point, apply lubricant to the O-rings to ensure smooth assembly. Firmly fasten the light liquid chamber to the threads of the top disc using the light liquid chamber handle. At this point, check that the light liquid chamber is firmly tightened by confirming that the zero marks on the light liquid chamber and bowl head are aligned. Mount the gravity disc, followed by the Teflon packing, and then the heavy liquid impeller. Mount the heavy liquid chamber. Mount it so that the zero mark aligns with the zero mark on the bowl body. If the zero marks are not aligned, shaking may result. Be sure to apply anti-lock lubricant to the thread of the disc nut and bowl before mounting the disc nut. Tap the disc nut handle with a hammer to tighten the disc nut completely. This completes the mounting of the bowl. We will now explain the procedure for mounting the sludge cover. Check that the O-rings are mounted on the sludge cover and mount the sludge cover using the lifting jack. 2 O-rings are mounted inside the sludge cover. When mounting the sludge cover, slowly lower it vertically to prevent damaging the O-rings. Mount the 4 socket cap screws. Temporarily fasten the socket set screw into the groove in the water inlet pipe. Do not tighten the screw completely. Mount the nut on the inlet pipes. When mounting the nut, mind the zero marks on the nut and upper hood. Depending on the screw, the angle of the zero marks on the nut to that on the upper hood is not a problem if it is 180 degrees or less, depending on progress. However, if the angle is over 180 degrees, you will need to replace the light liquid impeller. Take care not to tighten the hexagonal nuts any more than necessary. Excessive tightening can cause deformation of the impeller. Fasten the socket set screws and mount the cover nuts. Check that the orifice for regulating flow in the inlet pipe is mounted. Mount the cap nuts on the inlet pipe, and light liquid inlet pipe. Mount the packing on the cap nuts of each of the various connecting pipes. Tighten the connecting pipes firmly using a hook spanner. Finally, connect the water piping. The specifications of the water piping may differ, so please handle the connection procedure accordingly. completes all assembly processes. Assembly of your Mitsubishi Selfjector G Series is complete.